everyone. Welcome back to Receipts Ready. This one is absolutely wild. I only checked our Ring doorbell footage once, and it completely destroyed my marriage. I'm talking divorce papers filed, locks changed, and my whole life turned upside down. I know that sounds insane, but let me give you some background. I'm 32F, and my husband Mark is 35M. We've been married for 6 years, and I thought we had a solid relationship. Sure, we had our issues, but nothing major. Mark works in sales and travels a lot for work. Like 2 or 3 times a month, he'd be gone for a few days. I trusted him completely. We got the Ring doorbell installed about 8 months ago after our neighbor's house got broken into. Mark actually suggested it, which I thought was sweet. He said he wanted to make sure I felt safe when he was traveling. The thing is, I never really bothered checking the footage. I mean, why would I? Last Tuesday, Mark left for what he said was a 3-day business trip to Phoenix. Nothing unusual about that. He kissed me goodbye, grabbed his suitcase, and told me he'd call when he landed. But here's the thing that started bugging me. Around noon that same day, I got a delivery notification from Amazon. I was at work, so I couldn't get it right away. When I got home that evening, there was no package. I figured maybe it got stolen or delivered to the wrong address. Then I remembered we had the Ring doorbell. I downloaded the app and started scrolling through the day's footage to see what happened to my package. I found the delivery around 12:30 p.m. The Amazon guy drops off the package and leaves. But then I kept watching. At 2:15 p.m., someone walks up to our front door and picks up my package. But it wasn't a random thief. It was my husband. So Mark was supposed to be in Phoenix. But there he was, clear as day, taking my package from our own doorstep. I stared at that footage for like 10 minutes trying to make sense of it. Maybe his flight got delayed. Maybe he forgot something and came back. There had to be an explanation. But something in my gut told me to keep looking through the footage. I went back further, checking the previous weeks. And that's when I found it. During his last business trip 2 weeks ago, the same thing. He left that morning with his suitcase, but the footage showed him coming back that afternoon. And the trip before that. Same pattern. I felt sick to my stomach. Where was my husband going if not on business trips? I called his hotel in Phoenix. They had no reservation under his name. I called his work. His assistant said he was out of town on personal time, not business. That's when everything started clicking into place. All those business trips over the past 2 years. How he never wanted me to drop him off at the airport anymore. How he always paid for his own flights instead of letting his company handle it. I had been so stupid. I decided to do something I'd never done before. I drove to his office building and parked where I could see the parking garage. Sure enough, his car was there. He wasn't in Phoenix. He was 10 minutes from our house. I followed him when he left work. My heart was pounding the entire time. I kept thinking maybe he was planning a surprise for me or something. But deep down, I knew better. He drove across town to a neighborhood I'd never been to before. Nice area, newer houses. He pulled into the driveway of a white colonial house. And that's when I saw her. A woman came out to greet him. She wrapped her arms around him and kissed him like she'd been waiting for him to come home. So, I'm sitting in my car watching my husband embrace another woman. But it gets so much worse. A little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, comes running out of the house. She jumps into Mark's arms, calling him Daddy. I literally thought I was going to throw up. My husband had another family. While I'd been home alone missing him during his business trips, he was playing house with someone else. And they had a child together. I sat there for 2 hours just watching. I watched him help the little girl with what looked like homework at the kitchen table. I watched him and this woman cook dinner together. I watched them put the child to bed. It was like seeing a mirror image of the life I thought I had with him. I drove home in complete shock. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I called in sick to work and hired a private investigator. I needed to know everything. The PI worked fast. Within 24 hours, I had a full report. The woman's name was Jennifer, and she's 29F. They'd been together for 4 years. The little girl was theirs. He'd been paying rent on that house, utilities, everything. She thought they were engaged. But here's the part that made me absolutely lose it. Jennifer had no idea I existed either. Mark had told her he traveled for work all the time. She thought she was his only family. We were both being played. I spent the rest of that day planning exactly what I was going to do. Mark was supposed to come home the next evening from his fake business trip. I wasn't going to confront him right away. I wanted to be smart about this. I contacted a divorce attorney and gathered all the evidence. Bank statements showing payments to Jennifer's house. The Ring doorbell footage proving he wasn't traveling. Photos from the PI. Everything. When Mark walked through our door that Thursday night, he had the audacity to complain about how exhausting his trip was. He even had a fake tan and said the Phoenix sun was brutal. I just smiled and asked how his meetings went. He went into detail about clients that didn't exist. That's when I knew I was done playing games. So, Friday morning, Mark left for work like nothing happened. I waited about an hour, then drove straight to Jennifer's house. I figured she deserved to know the truth just like I did. When she answered the door, I introduced myself as Mark's wife. The look on her face was devastating. At first, she didn't believe me, but I had photos and documents. We sat at her kitchen table and compared stories. Everything lined up perfectly. Jennifer was furious, but not at me. She was angry at Mark for lying to both of us and for putting their daughter in this situation. We actually ended up working together. She agreed to help me confront him. That evening, when Mark came to Jennifer's house, we were both waiting for him. I'll never forget the look of pure terror on his face when he saw me sitting on her couch. He tried to make up some story about how he could explain everything, but we shut him down immediately. Jennifer told him to pack his things and get out. I told him I'd already filed for divorce and changed the locks on our house. His clothes were in garbage bags on Jennifer's front lawn. He had nowhere to go. The divorce was finalized 3 months ago. I got the house and half of everything else, including the money he'd been spending on his double life. Jennifer is doing well too. She got a good job and moved closer to her family. Mark has supervised visitation with their daughter. As for Mark, last I heard, he's living with his parents and working at a car dealership. His sales job fired him when they found out he'd been lying about business trips and using company resources for personal stuff. Turns out, when you build your whole life on lies, everything falls apart pretty quick. I still can't believe that checking our Ring doorbell once changed everything. If my Amazon package hadn't gotten stolen, or if I hadn't bothered to check the footage, I might still be married to him. I might never have known about Jennifer and their daughter. I'd probably still be home alone wondering why my husband seems so distant lately. Honestly, I'm glad the truth came out, even though it was devastating. Both Jennifer and I deserved better than living a lie, and that little girl deserved to have an honest father. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button. Thanks for watching.